Let's install Pika OS today. It is a gaming-oriented distribution that is inspired by Nobala and using Ubuntu as a base. It is using CANT OS as the kernel base, Linux Mint for the software manager. It has the Hub OS tiling manager, and it is using ASUS Linux hybrid GPU control. It also has the APX package manager from the Vanilla OS team. For the ISO file, I chose the GNOME nVidia version, but after putting it onto the Ventoy USB drive, it doesn't boot up properly with the default grub option. Let me try using the Save Graphic option to start a live CD. The Save Graphic mode is not working either. I did check the MD5 to make sure the file was intact. Let me see if I can boot up using the grub2 mode from Ventoy. Keep saying unable to find a medium containing a live file system, and after some searching, some people having this issue with a different USB port. So let me try changing to another one. Well, to make sure Ventoy is still usable, I chose CANT OS to boot up, and it does go into the live environment. Finally, it is working. Several things I did off the camera. First, I re-download the ISO file and put it on the same Ventoy, which didn't work. Then I upgrade Ventoy from 1.0.95 to 1.0.96, which was able to fix the live system not found issue. And that is weird because I didn't see any related fix on their release note. And then I had to use the default non-normal set option in grub to start the live CD. Otherwise, the live CD will stuck without booting up. But now, let's start the installation. Once entering the live environment, there's a warning saying that do not consider this distribution as a Ubuntu flavor, and do not interrupt the installer when it's running. Another thing is that the default wallpaper is quite cute. After choosing the correct language and keyboard, it shows me the available disk I can install the system. I'll use the entire disk in my laptop. And now the installation has started. Let's see how it works after the first time boot up. During the installation, there are several pictures showing up as a slideshow, but none of them are clickable. It has some small descriptions on top of that. I can also see the installation detail by clicking on the terminal button. Okay, the installation has finished. Let's see if the system can boot up correctly. Okay, the first time boot up is successful, and it's asking me to create a user right now. Let me see if I can connect to my Bluetooth keyboard and mouse and do that. Unlike CANT OS, I can directly set up my keyboard and mouse without any issue. Now let's create a user. After the user creation, the system will log out for you to log in again. I'm glad to see the Bluetooth connection is still working. And now there is a welcome guide. Let's go through that. The first button is connect to internet. But the thing is that this laptop is using Wi-Fi instead of wired internet. It doesn't go to Wi-Fi page automatically, so I have to go there and do the connection. The second button is to update the system. I'll try that and see how it goes. And this button also pops up with flatpak updates. The third button is to install the media codecs. I can see how this distribution is inspired by Nobala. Let's try this. Alright, the codecs has finished installing. The next button is to install the nVidia driver. But before that, I want to check if nVidia driver is already there, given I download the nVidia ISO file in the first place. Alright, I can see the nVidia driver already installed, But let me click on the button anyways to see what's gonna happen. It just gave me a driver manager window which shows the current installed version. The next screen gives me several layouts to choose from. I can see Windows 11 is here, so I want to try this because I haven't been using Windows for a long time. I'm gonna use the Pika OS theming and turn on the dark mode. I'll pick a different color and try it on. Looks like the system has crashed. Let me log it out and log in again. The welcome program has popped up again. Again, I'm gonna choose a different color and see if it crashes. It didn't crash this time, and I can see the color theme has already been changed inside the file manager, even though the icon on the desktop has not changed. I think I need to log out again for that to take effect. But let's continue. So that's it for the initial setup. But after I turn on the software updater, it shows me there is still updates needs to be installed. Now the system has correctly updated. That's it for today. Alright guys, this is the second day of the recording. The next thing I want to try is the input method. Because in the latest changelog on their website, it says they replace iBus with FCITX5 and fix all the keyboard issues. So I want to see how easy it is to set up an input method and if there is a major issue on the keyboard. It is fairly simple to add a new input method in the setting keyboard section, and there's no major issues. I can type Chinese characters in the Firefox. Next thing is I would try to see if OBS is functional already, because in the FAQ page it says it has some setups for the AMD GPU encoders, but I also want to see if nVidia users can use it out of the box. And for installing OBS, I'll use Pikman package manager mentioned in the FAQ. It is mentioned as a tool that combines 4 other package managers. So let's see how it works. If I search Pikman in the app menu, it doesn't show up as a GUI app. So let me go to the terminal. In the help menu, I can see several commands. It has install, list, run, and remove. It also has a set of APX options like Arch, Fedora, Alpine, and flatpak. Let me just use search and install options to see how it works. If I don't use the specific option to specify the source of the package, Pikman will pick from its own official repository to install the OBS Studio. OBS has started properly, and it is configured automatically with the nVidia driver, which is pretty good because it means that users can directly start using OBS without any tinkering. Next, let's install Steam and Bottles. On PikaOS official feature page, they mentioned that all the snaps were reverted into deb. So let's use Pikman with flatpak option to install Steam, Bottles, and mangohud to see if they work. Unlike Garuda Linux, which is another gaming-oriented distribution, PikaOS does not have Steam, Bottles, and mangohud installed by default, so this is perfect time to install them using flatpak. Alright, the installations have started. Interestingly, for Pikman, I need to specify flatpak ahead of install command. Alright, the installation has completed. Let me set up the games. Alright, Assassin's Creed Origins has started correctly with mangohud. I didn't see the freezing issue like Catchy OS, even though it is also using the Catchy OS kernel. Let's run the benchmark first. The interesting thing I found is that the Assassin's Creed Origins is using the integrated AMD GPU, not the nVidia GPU. Alright, the issue now is that the game wouldn't use nVidia driver, and after several failed attempts, I decided to reinstall nVidia, and then after I uninstalled the nVidia driver, the system wouldn't work in X11, and I cannot reinstall the nVidia driver using the driver manager. Alright guys, it's the third day now. After killing the camera yesterday, there are several things I did. The first one is that I took some screenshots during the nVidia driver installation using driver manager because the terminal will automatically close after it fails. And I found out the issue was because when it's trying to remove Linux modules nVidia package, it got error and quit the installation process. So I found out there were still nVidia packages existing in the system. I tried using manual remove and auto remove methods without succeeding. Then I found after using this solution to block novu inside the system, I can use X11 properly, but I still cannot install a nVidia driver using driver manager after that, and auto removal still not working. I tried several other solutions on internet after that. One of them is to use apt purge for all the nVidia packages, but it gave me the same error of the Linux module nVidia package. Then I tried the dpkg command to purge everything, but that command gave another error saying X wayland depends on libnvidia wayland package. So finally, when I tried to remove X wayland inside X11, it says the Pika OS is depending on it. And at this point, I decided to reinstall the whole system, because even in OBS, I cannot see nVidia encoder anymore. And I remember nVidia codec was showing up right after I installed the system for the first place. So I want to trace back on when did nVidia fail in the first time. After reinstalling the system, there are several interesting things I found. First of all, when I use the official software manager, the GUI tool, and search for OBS Studio, I can see the package is default to the flatpak version. And when I install the flatpak version of OBS and launched it, I cannot find the nVidia encoder in this package, which is exact same symptom when I installed the flatpak version of Steam. So I list all the flatpak packages that was installed by the software center, and I cannot see the nVidia package was mapped there, which means even with the GPU acceleration turned on in FlashSeal, it is still not gonna work. Then I found out there is something called PikaOS Hub, and inside that there is a section called recommended applications. And in the recommended application, there is also one version of OBS and indicated as uninstalled. Then I uninstall everything in flatpak, reboot the system, and then install the OBS again in the PikaOS Hub. OBS this time was installed as a native package. PikaOS developer, if you're watching, please make sure that the version in the software manager is in line with the recommended applications in the hub. Now with this finding, I'm gonna set up Steam, bottles, and mangohud using the hub version. With the basic utility package installed, I can see Steam and mangohud were both installed as native package. Now I'm gonna install the extra package because I see bottles is inside that package. This time the extra package are install everything using flatpak, and still I can't see nVidia package being here. So now I'm pretty skeptical if bottles can use nVidia GPU. But before that, let me try setting up the games again. After setting up Assassin's Creed Origins on the native Steam this time, the game still couldn't detect nVidia GPU. And I tried running the game benchmark with the AMD GPU, and the score is extremely slow. The average FPS was 19, which means this issue is not only occurred with flatpak. This is probably a distribution-wise issue, because remember, this time I installed all the gaming-related package in the PikaOS Hub, and still it cannot detect nVidia. And this time I didn't even tinker with nVidia driver, which was out of the box. So let me see if there's anything else I can do. Okay, I think I'm able to find the nVidia issue, and it is not because of the flatpak. After I revert the OBS back to the native version and with nvenc to start a test recording, it gave an error, and the nVidia SMI command was not able to pick up the device. So I installed this system for the third time. And this time, before I do anything, right after the first time boot up, I open up nVidia settings. It looked like this. And when I use nVidia SMI command, I was able to see the device. Then I proceed with the system updates in the welcome page and codecs as well. And the second time boot up, the nVidia settings becomes like this. And nVidia SMI command could no longer pick up the nVidia driver. I think there is something wrong with the codecs or the system updates. Now I have downloaded the vanilla version of the ISO file from their official website. And I'm gonna install it for the fourth time and see if it helps if I install the base system and codecs first and then nVidia drivers. Let's do that. The vanilla GNOME ISO file did not boot up properly. I tried both non-normal set or the regular options in grub, but nothing worked. So I download the nVidia version again with KDE Plasma. I install this ISO file, and now it's after the first time reboot. I can see the nVidia setting and nVidia SMI are both showing up correct results. Now let's update the system and install codecs and see if you break the system again. Alright, I have updated the system and installed the codecs. Let's reboot the system and see how it goes. Nice, the Plasma version system didn't break the nVidia after the system updates. Let me set up the Steam again and see if the game can pick up nVidia GPU now. Guys, it looks like Plasma is the answer for these distributions. Finally, the game is able to detect a nVidia driver now. Funny thing is, I had to enable the in-game overlay in both Steam and Ubisoft Connect to make sure the game is running. Otherwise, the game will freeze when the game is launching. Now, let's run the benchmark. Like what I saw in CANT OS, mangohud will give a higher number in 0.1% and 1% low than average, and 97% high will give a lower number. But when I open up the CSV file generated by mangohud, I can see 14.601% low, 42.9 1% low, 78 average, 104.2 97% high. Now let's use PikaOS Hub to install bottles and set up Red Dead Redemption 2. On Plasma this time, I can see nVidia is being installed by flatpak. This is probably because nVidia is still working at the moment. The flatpak version of bottles needs to use mangohud in flatpak as well. What I need to do is to replace the native mangohud with flatpak version. The next issue was that the system is default into X11, and when I change it to wayland, the game started. This time, mangohud showed 3.6 average FPS, but the CSV file shows 0 for 0.1% and 1% low. Clearly, there's something wrong with this version of mangohud in flatpak. Let me try if I can use a lower version of mangohud and do this again. The mangohud from FlatHub repository 22.08 didn't work with the bottles, so I reverted back to the latest version of mangohud in 23.08 and changing the runner to Proton GE version, which worked properly. The mangohud in-game overlay show higher numbers of 0.1% and 1% low, and a lower number of 97% high. But in the CSV file, I can see 18.2 as the 0.1% low, 33 as the 1% low, 56.1 as the average. Because PikaOS is a Ubuntu-based distribution, so I put the number in the Ubuntu-based spreadsheet. And we can see in Red Dead Redemption 2, PikaOS ranked number 1 overall compared to other distributions, and it ranks second in Assassin's Creed Origins. But do I really recommend these distributions? Not as much, even though it is designed as a gaming-oriented distribution, but compared to PopOS, it still has some rough edges, especially the nVidia version with GNOME. I'm not sure if this is a new compatibility issue introduced by the base Ubuntu or PikaOS, but still, I didn't remember I spent this much time debugging the nVidia issue with PopOS last time. And that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.